My guest today is Lisa Smith. Lisa is an ICF-certified coach and has been a stylist her entire adult life. She has always loved seeing the confidence someone feels when they have on an outfit that makes them look and feel amazing. For the past 15 years, she has grown a successful business as a stylist with a global clothing company called Cabi. She still gets a thrill when the new collection launches twice a year and continues to love styling her clients. In 2021, she combined her love of styling with coaching and co-founded Shift Coaching Services. She loves helping others achieve goals, lean into their strength, and create their own unique personal style. I warmly welcome Lisa Smith. Welcome to BrandsTalk.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited having you on my show. I also have a knack for style and clothing, and that is especially exciting for me to be in a conversation with an expert again when it comes to clothing, when it comes to expressing our style through this non-verbal communication tool, which actually is very often underestimated but is very significant when it comes to expressing ourselves to the world, right? Before we dive deeper into all about clothing and how we can express our strength and our goals through clothing, can you tell us your personal story, how you got there where you are at now?
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So I have, like you said, I've been with Cabi for 15 years. And during that time, at around 10 years in, I was like, well, what else do I want to do? And so I looked into a coaching program, got my ICF certification. And it was really during that process of becoming a coach where I was like, well, why don't I blend my two loves of coaching and styling and create something really unique that, like you said, sometimes gets a little bit missed. I actually talked to a woman a couple days ago, and she said it can be a blind spot for people as they're moving through life, that sometimes people just think, well, I'll just put on whatever I want to wear and I'm fine. It's all good. So that really became my focus. And I was like, well, why don't I just blend these two practices together and help people really transform their lives from the inside out?
When did this idea pop up, come up? When did you feel like there needs to be something else in life? I mean, you are still with Cabi and you're still this stylist everyone wants to work with. So how did you find this second love, this second passion that you are now combining with being a stylist? When did you figure out this is another path that you want to pursue?
During the coaching program, I thought, wow, how can I love coaching and I really want to help people reach their goals, get unstuck in their lives, and really live a really well-balanced life between work, family, their personal lives. And I just thought, how can I bring those two together with styling? And really, there is a huge correlation between your goals and your strengths and your clothing. So I was like, I think I'm onto something. So I started doing a little test with some of my friends. I was like, what do you think about this idea? And to be honest, I was at a dinner party sitting next to this woman, and she told me all about herself. And then I told her what I do. And I hadn't even received my certification yet. And I was in the program. And she said, people need you. I said, well, tell me more about what you mean. She goes, I cannot fit into any of my clothes anymore. Why is that? Because I'm not taking care of myself. And why is that? So there's just so many levels that go deeper than just the clothes. Well, why wasn't she taking care of herself? So she was like, yes, you need to do what you're doing. And I was like, I knew I was on the right track after that amazing dinner conversation several years ago at this point, when I was like, wow, okay. And honestly, I was also really supported through the coaches that I was going through the program. And I do a lot of research in general. So then I also contacted a woman in the Seattle area and I was like, what do you think about this idea? I heard you're doing kind of something similar or have done that. And she was like 100%. People that are moving into a leadership role need to elevate their style. So people really need to blend those goals and their strengths with their wardrobe, and a lot of people don't know how to do that. So I'm excited to be able to help people do that. It's great.
So what I hear here is that it all starts with some awareness. It starts with self-care, and basically clothing, yeah, is the manifestation or the outer manifestation, let's say, of the inner work. Of it really reflects how we feel. So if we are not doing our regular self-care, we might not feel at our best. So that
Right.
suffering, and we are suffering, and we might not wear those clothes intentionally we are supposed to wear, or it's where we feel just comfortable. How do we start here? So how do you work with your clients to begin with when it
It's
comes
a
to expressing our goals and our strength through clothing?
That's a great question. So we usually start with a consultation. I like to dive into what are your needs? What are you looking for? Obviously, we're just coming through this pandemic, and a lot of people are wondering, how do I get dressed again? What do I wear? What do I have that fits? How do I even accessorize anymore? So we have my business partner and we have a consultation. It's a free 30-minute consultation to really get to know someone, to find out where are you, what are you looking for in a coach, and or what are you looking with a stylist. And so we really take a deep dive into finding out what their needs are and figuring out a plan on how to get them there.
So it's a transformation, right? Because on your landing page, you also say it's your tagline, it's a mission statement, helping you build positive transformations from the inside out. How would if I come to you, how would that look like? And how would you help? Is it a guiding hand that helps through this transformation? What advice do you give in terms of inner work, in terms of how do you bridge that to clothing? And how do I know what kind of clothes should I wear?
Good question. Really great question. So we would walk through, what are your goals? What are you doing for self-care? If your clothes aren't fitting you, what do we need for you to do? Or what do you need to get to that place where you're feeling confident? And so we really walk alongside our clients as accountability partners to figure out, where do you want to be, I don't know, 2 years from now, a year from now, even 6 months from now. And then we'll do a styling closet assessment to see where they are with their clothing. And often we recommend starting with making sure you have some great solid basics that you can then build on, and being able to have a closet full of clothes. You don't need a lot of clothes, but you really want to have those pieces in your wardrobe that you feel great in, that if you're moving up into a leadership position, that you're showing confidence with your clothing as well. And we help with body confidence. Dressing for your particular body type is really, really important, as we all have different body shapes. And that is something that like I said, we walk along with our clients as accountability partners through the process. And like right now, we're into a new season, so we're helping some of our clients grab a few jackets that are great for the fall and winter season. And we're hearing a lot of what's become known as business comfort and the workplace. And as people are moving back into the office a little bit more, how can we also are working at helping our clients transition, have those transition pieces that they can take from online virtual meetings to in-person meetings, and then maybe they're out running errands or picking up kids from soccer practice. So really finding those pieces that they feel great in, that they can manage their day around their different functions and still feel comfortable, because I think we should all feel comfortable in our clothes all the time. And we just are our accountability partners with our clients as we walk along the journey. They're setting new goals. We check in. We make sure that they're still on the same. And really, the clothing is the icing on the cake. Are those pieces in your wardrobe aligning with those goals that you're setting?
Okay, so there's two questions that are coming up. One is if my clothes don't fit. The don't fit can have different meanings. It can be too big, it can be too small, it can be the color does not really work, it's maybe the style, the trend. Maybe I'm not a trendy person, maybe I'm more, let's say, a traditional person. How do I know what fits? And what kind of feeling should come up if I feel comfortable? And especially comfortable intentionally when it comes to I need to wear or I get to wear something that represents my leadership style, or also the level I'm working within a company, or am I a business owner? Am I a leader, a manager? It really also depends on in what industry I am in. So what does fit mean?
That's a really great question. Wow, I don't know that I've ever been asked that. So how does it fit on your body and how do you feel in it? Right? You should feel great, comfortable, and it should have a nice fit, right? It should feel good on your body. It should highlight your waist if that's a place that you want to give structure to. How do you do that? You create grab a jacket that gives you some structure. There's so many different garments. Having worked with cabi for all these years, there are different pieces of clothing that can create shape. So I often say clothing is a little bit like magic. So if you don't have a waist, a great fitting jacket with lines that help contour will give you a great shape. And again, it should be comfortable and a great color that's going to look good on you. That is something we do. We can do. So thanks to the pandemic, we can also do this virtually where we can do a session with somebody and go through their wardrobe and find pieces that fit great, that look great, do an assessment. If you have those great key pieces that have good structure, that are going to define a waist. I really enjoy this. Often a V-neck is really flattering because it just gives a little bit of, gives a little skin. You can wear a fun necklace as well. And so that would be how I would answer that question about fit. It should fit your body well without feeling uncomfortable and highlight areas of your body that you love. How's
Uh,
that?
yeah, thank you. And when it comes to colors, one more thing, because people are very often unsure, does this color really fit? Is this too dark? Is this too bright? Does the orange or the yellow go with me? So are there some rules that we have to stick with when it comes to colors, like a blonde person or someone who has more like a darker skin color that goes more with black, or does it have something with red substances in our hair? So what is it?
That's another great question. And I know there's probably some rules, but I don't necessarily follow those rules all the time. It's just like, does it look great? Does it look really good on you? Yellow may not be your color, right? Just looking at with your skin tone and your hair color, yellow may not be the best color, at least next to your skin. But if you love yellow, throw it on in a pant, right? Wear a yellow pant because yellow is such a happy and fun color that if you love a color, it doesn't mean you can't wear it. You just may not be able to wear it as your best color next to your face or on your next to your face, right? You don't want to look like you're jaundiced. So
Yeah.
if you love it, think about other areas you can wear it. You can wear it in pants. You could wear it as a belt. So if you love a color, I would say go for it and see where get an opinion of someone else and see what do you think of this color on me, right? Or what do you think of the color on you? Do you feel really great in it? Do you like the way it looks? And that would be my recommendation.
And also sometimes we say that, for example, the color blue resonates very much with the financial industry because it conveys trust, and red is more communicates passion. Do we still stick with those rules, or how do you see that?
those There's a lot of psychology around clothing, the power of clothing and color. And yes, I would say that it's very, very true. You think about, what do police officers or people in authority, what color do they wear?
Mm-hmm.
They're wearing what? Black, dark navy. Why? They're not wearing pink. They're not wearing a hot pink color. that would be the opposite effect of what they are trying to achieve. So color has definitely has a major impact on the psychology of what our thoughts are. So yeah, it is definitely it can send a strong message or send a message, right?
Yeah, we also have seen that the fast food industry is more colored in red. So the psychology of colors comes in here very, very strongly. And they also now want to bring in more the color of green to show that they are environmentally friendly and come up with locally grown produce and stuff like that. So we see also the colors coming in when it comes to these strong brands that are in the fast food industry, for example. So we are coming off the style now, but we see
Right.
the psychology of colors and how they are playing a huge role in our lives.
Yep.
Yeah, and then there was this other question because you say we are accountability partners, you and your partner that help your clients support them through this transition. So, how does such an accountability look like? In how far, how closely do you work with your clients? So, how does accountability look like in everyday life?
That's a great question. So, when we work with our clients, we really dig in and we find out what their goals are, personal goals, professional goals. And in general, you take baby steps, right? And we do 1 hour, approximately 1 hour sessions. It's either weekly or bi weekly. And we find that the clients that get the best results are the ones that commit to about a 6 months of accountability. And we check in once a week. We're like, check in and see how did it go the week before? What's new? What's come up for you? And what I find super interesting with coaching is that we could be going along the path of career coaching. Someone's making a career transition and life happens and you may be on track to move up in the company or figure out what other new role or new job or new career that you may be leaning into. And life happens and we'll check in and sometimes we talk around something completely different than what our original subject matter was, say career coaching. Healthy boundaries, what are healthy boundaries look like? So we check in, we're there to just be supportive and as life comes up, and we all have things that come up in our lives that we don't see coming, and that doesn't mean we can't continue on that journey toward our goal. Sometimes we just need to work through something else that came up, and we love being able to be that person that's a safe place for someone to share whatever those issues that come up in your life, but at the same time we're there to say, okay, well, hiccups, what's next, what will you do, and how can we walk through this together? What are your next steps? So we're huge as accountability partners. It's all about what are your next steps and how can we get you there.
All right. So you are bringing these two passions together, or the two loves, as you said, that is coaching and styling, or clothing and coaching. That means now you are really in your sweet spot, and thereby you are in your best version. That's what you help your clients to get in. And that also makes you shine. It makes you shine, and thereby you're also a strong personal brand. So, in your opinion, what is the singular thing that can you provide that no one else can provide by bringing together these two passions? So, what is your uniqueness that shines so strongly?
Oh, good questions. Well, the uniquenesses in the coaching world, there are, there isn't anyone that I know of that are bringing the aspect of the coaching piece and combining it with the clothing. And so that is what really makes Shift Coaching Services unique, is that we bring the two together, we align the goals and strengths, and we move those into how does that manifest in your wardrobe.
Beautiful, beautiful. Do you have any helpful advice on how we can take action right now to become our best utilizing our personal clothing style? So, do you have the three most important steps we can take action now?
Good question. So, we have just created a masterclass, which we will be launching in October. Your guests and anyone can register for this masterclass. It's called Three Simple Strategies to Defining Your Personal Style. And in the course, you will receive knowledge on the power of clothing. We touched on that a bit today, revolving around color, so on and so forth, fit. We will be talking about body confidence and how to fit and flatter your body. We will also be sharing what tips on how to align your goals and your strengths with your wardrobe. And also, the last piece, which a lot of people are like, how do I do this? Is we will share how to create a basic wardrobe capsule. So, to your audience now, I would say that if you're really considering what your goals are in the next 6 months to and on, consider how does that align with your wardrobe? What do you want your wardrobe to say about you? And it's often not something that people think about. So, that would be my first step. Say, what do you want your clothes to say about you and your goals? And then do an assessment of your wardrobe. What is fitting right now? What needs to go? Do an audit, do a closet audit and do some purging. And then the last tip I would say is try things on. What fits well? Does that align with what you have decided you want your own personal brand, if you will, to resonate and or to shine? How do you want to shine, and how does your wardrobe align with that? Do you feel comfortable in the pieces that you have in your closet?
Okay, that's already great advice. And I think we need to also put the link of your masterclass into the show notes.
Okay, we'll do that.
Do that. I have picked up one more expression or term which I'm not quite sure if I understood it right. And maybe also the audience is questioning that because there is this term out there, hybrid dressing. So what is that? And what's your recommendation for that?
Oh, there's so many interesting things happening that have never happened ever in history. So, companies and organizations and people, mostly organizations, I would say, there is a whole phenomena going on. Organizations are needing to redefine their dress codes because a lot of people have shown up rolling out of bed, putting on your hoodie or your sweatpants and hopping on a virtual call and moving through our day like that. And so how do we now, as a global peoples, figure out how to get dressed again? So business casual is business comfort, right? That's a huge one of the top Google searches right now is what's business comfort? How are people showing up at work? You're not the only one if you're wondering what to wear to work right now. It is something that's huge, and it's just something so interesting that no one's ever experienced. And there are just new rules that are being set right now. High heels are going out the window. Elastic pants are strong, right?
Yeah.
Suit and ties. Ties are often right now. Ties are going to the wayside too. So all that to say, you should still think about how you want to show up. And if in question, I always say err on the side of dressing up a little bit more than dressing down. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure if that answered your question.
Oh,
So,
yes. I'm just thinking that might be a related term to Casual Friday that we had pre COVID. So that
right,
people were just dressing more casually on a Friday and now they're doing like every day in the week. And
right.
I think we have to somehow come back to a certain dress code or style because, as you say, we have dress also according to our role that we play in an organization, because a role or a position aligned with a certain authority that you have. You are a leader. People are emulating you, are looking up to you, and the role that you play has a certain meaning. So I think we also should dress accordingly. As that's my personal opinion. I don't know what your stand on that is.
I agree. The way you show up does have an impact on how people view you. And even in a brand new situation, within 7 seconds, right or wrong, you're being judged and you're leaving an impression. And so when you're getting dressed, think about that. And you should still continue to show up as your authentic self, and also dressing in the role. So I agree with you completely.
Yeah, it's really the first impression. It is the 5 to 7 seconds that counts, that really sticks with everyone. Yeah, so you leave an impression, right, with your style, with your verbal and non-verbal communication.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Lisa, we are almost at the end of our show, and I would like to do a quick word rap that is rapid fire terms that I'm shouting out. And yeah, you answer me top of mind, whatever comes up. Is that okay
Okay.
for you? All right. Passion.
Ooh, and fashion. I was rhyming, but
Yeah, but for you, isn't it? Fashion?
fashion.
Okay. Success.
Success, authenticity,
Mindset.
positive growth mindset.
Women empowerment.
Wow. Just, oh gosh, that's women empowerment. It's coming along. That's the way to go.
Okay, good. And last but not least, brains.
Brands. Wow, brands. What do I think when I think of brands? I think of colors and I think of people.
Okay, good. All right, Lisa, is there anything else you would like to mention? And
Yeah, I would just say I hope that this was helpful for people, and that Shift coaching services were on social media with Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we would be happy to, if you're having any questions, have a consultation and see how we could be helpful to you.
okay, so I will put everything into the show notes so that people can find you. All right, and also the link to your masterclass that is taking place in October.
Yeah, our first one is launching, and people can register at shiftcoachingservices.com.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, Lisa, thank you so much for being my guest today on BrandsTalk and talking about how we can express our strength and shine through clothing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.